Greetings and welcome back to another episode from DroneOCan.com. Today we are on the road, and right now we are just outside Patricia at the abandoned dinosaur country store, and we have a very special destination for this trip. We are on our way to check out what is reported to be the oldest grain elevator in the entire country. We'll talk about that a bit more, but for now, let's roll the opening. So our ultimate destination is Elva, Manitoba, and it's a lot further east than we normally get on our trips, but we've gotten word that the grain elevator there, which, as I said in the opening, is reported to be the oldest in the country, is scheduled for demolition sometime this year. So we knew there was going to be no better opportunity, or soon enough no opportunity at all, to check it out. So we decided to take an extra day off of work here, get out on the road, and make the trip. And if you were wondering if there are any dinosaurs by the Dinosaur Country Store, I am pleased to tell you that yes, indeed, there are. We are close to Dinosaur Provincial Park, and so Patricia here has engaged with the dinosaur theme. The country store here obviously has not done very well for a few years, but this dinosaur still stands guard at the intersection. And it's funny, a few years ago we stopped here, there was actually a geocache inside the dinosaur's mouth, and the only way we could get to it was to back the car up underneath the dinosaur and stand on the roof. That was a lot of fun. I don't think it's still active, so we don't have to worry about doing that today, and I don't think I'm giving away any spoilers. All right, well, we are continuing our trip to the east here. Now, you've heard of Buffalo, New York. Well, this is its much less famous cousin, Buffalo, Alberta. So there isn't a whole lot here in Buffalo, but probably the most famous is what I believe was a general store post office located here. The building has had some new siding applied to it recently. When it was under renovation and they had the old siding pulled off, there was actually a really cool ghost sign underneath, and that obviously is still preserved under that siding, but probably will not see the light of day for a number of years yet. And this is something, I don't know if this was here the last time we came through Buffalo, but they actually have this set up as a little campground now. So we're going to take the opportunity and stop here and grab a bite to eat. It's, we've put about 400 kilometers on so far, and it's lunchtime. So that's where we're at, Buffalo, Alberta. So thanks to the magic of our friends Chris and Connie at bigdoor.com, we had a chance to do a little bit of reading online while we ate lunch and learned a little bit more of the history of this building. This is the Woo Sam General Store and Post Office, originally built circa 1928 and operated as a restaurant and a rooming house at some point in the past. Best guesses from their website say that they figure it operated as a general store up through until the 1970s, at which point it just became a post office. But really, that's kind of it for the town of Buffalo, Alberta. And when I had previously commented about it being the cousin of Buffalo, New York, it actually was not far from the truth, because the town, when it was founded, was named by a local settler who actually came from Buffalo, New York. So Buffalo, Alberta is related in a way to Buffalo, New York. We are just going to come into Empress, Alberta, and see if we can find any fuel here. We still have over half a tank, but we like to play it safe when we don't know where the next gas is going to come from. There's the town over there, situated in a somewhat picturesque little valley here, right along the Alberta-Sask border. Fuel mission accomplished. Gotta love small town service stations where it's like just like the old days, pull up, pump your gas, then go inside and pay. No pay at the pump there. We are almost to the Saskatchewan border, and what's our trip odometer reading?
466.7 kilometers.
So apparently the ferry at Estuary isn't operating, but that's okay. We weren't planning on taking that route anyway. But as the nice lady at the gas station was giving us directions, she says, "Don't worry, you'll know when you hit the Sask border because the pavement ends." And that is certainly what happened. And we knew that. We've traveled this route before, but it's always nice talking to the locals. Looks like we have come across an old abandoned school up on top of the hill there. At least it certainly looks like a school based upon the row of windows along the side there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a marker up there.
Oh, there is a school marker up here. Not long for this world by the looks of it. The roof is caved in. It's got a significant lean. Given the direction of the prevailing winds here, not surprising, it's kind of leaning off to the east. So kind of great. We got a chance to stop here and document it and get a couple photos of it before it disappears completely. But nature's definitely winning the battle against this old schoolhouse. There is a sign down towards the road that we just came off of that tells us what school this was. So I'll check that out as we head out of town here, or back onto the main road. So we could have stayed on the gravel and worked our way up to LaPorte that way, but it was just a short detour to the east to get over to Saskatchewan Highway 21, and we had been rocking and rolling on that gravel so much that the thoughts of getting onto Highway 21 and what should be some pavement sounded appealing. But we've now lost all our gravel and we're essentially just driving through a farmer's field at this point. But it's still marked as a road on the map. That counts, right? Well, our adventure on the dirt ended successfully and we made it to Highway 21, which we took north to Etonia, and we're now eastbound on Highway 44, and we are coming up on the remains of the grain elevators of Dankin. The elevators were damaged in a windstorm, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and suffered a lot. There is a video on the channel of the Dankin elevators when they were still in a little better condition, but I'm going to throw the drone up here, I think, and you're going to see just how much things have changed since then. So you can see the remains of the two elevators coming into sight here just on the left side of the road. Both have lost their cupolas and are in really bad shape, not long for this world. So that's why it's important that even though we're kind of running a little bit late today, that we stop and document what's here for the future. Okay, well, after almost 12 straight hours on the road, we have made it to our destination of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, and the Dreamland Motel, where we are going to settle in for the night before we head out to Manitoba tomorrow morning. Emily has gone inside to check in for us. And if we take a look, there's the motel. I don't know which room is going to be ours tonight, but I have to admit I'm pretty tired, and so no matter what room we have, it's going to be a pleasant sleep. All right, and before we sign off for the night, quick little look around the motel room. The wood paneling really gives it a mountain cabin kind of feel. But seems like a nice place, and the price was right. The neighborhood is right on the border of like an industrial and then residential area. So it seems fairly quiet out there right now. So I think we'll sleep well. Certainly after 12 hours on the road, that should be expected. So that's going to do it for day one on the great trip to Elva, Manitoba, to see one of the oldest grain elevators in the country, if not the oldest grain elevator. We saw a lot of them today along the road. I didn't take time to film too much along a lot of the stops, simply because a lot of them were just kind of quick photography stops. There was no real exploration, so that's why this one's a little shorter, but that's okay. Day 2 is coming up tomorrow in a separate video. See you then.